Part 1. The Myth of Motivation and the Power of Habit.
Hello, future polyglots and champions of discipline. You are locked into Discipline Unlocked, the show that reveals the true engine behind every language success story, right here on the Academy of English Excellence channel. I'm Anna, and I am buzzing with excitement for today's topic.
And I'm Tom, thrilled to dive into a concept that is far more powerful than raw talent or even initial passion. Discipline. We're tearing down the myth of the motivated genius and replacing it with the reality of the disciplined builder.
That's right, Tom. How many times have we seen students start learning English on January 1st, full of fire, studying 8 hours straight, only to crash and burn by January 15th? It happens every year. They relied on motivation, and motivation, my friends, is a fleeting emotion. It's like glitter, brilliant for a moment, but quickly fades.
Exactly. Motivation gets you started, discipline keeps you going. Think of it like a rocket launch. Motivation is the massive burst of fuel that gets you off the launch pad. But once you're in the atmosphere, you rely on constant, small, precise, and disciplined course corrections to reach orbit. Those corrections, that's habit.
We're talking about creating non-negotiable systems. Discipline isn't about feeling like studying, it's about doing the work regardless of how you feel. It's the difference between saying, I will study English when I have time, and saying, every day at 7:30 a.m., I review vocabulary for 15 minutes.
And that 15 minutes, Anna, is a non-zero day. James Clear, the habit guru, talks about the compound effect. Doing something small every day is geometrically more effective than doing something massive occasionally. If you improve just 1% every day, after a year, you are 37 times better than when you started. That is the factual, natural consequence of discipline.
Listeners, this is your first pillar of mastery. Swap motivation for habit. Stop waiting for inspiration to strike. Decide when and where your English learning happens and protect that time fiercely. It's not about the length of the session. It's about the unbreakable chain of consistency. Start with 10 minutes. Make it so easy you can't say no.
We call that the discipline anchor. What is your anchor? Is it listening to an English podcast while you make breakfast? Is it 5 Duolingo lessons during your lunch break? Find that anchor and execute it every single day. That tiny act of discipline is the bedrock of all future success.
On that high note, we'll move into part 2, where we unlock the secrets of managing energy and minimizing resistance. Stay with us. Part 2. The art of minimizing friction.
Welcome back to Discipline Unlocked. I'm Tom, joined by Anna, and we are talking about transforming your English journey from a struggle into an inevitable success story.
In part 1, we established that discipline is habit. Now we dive into the second pillar, the art of minimizing friction. If discipline is the intention, removing friction is the execution pathway. We want to make the wrong choice, skipping practice, difficult, and the right choice, studying, automatic.
This is pure human psychology, listeners. We naturally gravitate toward the path of least resistance. So, we must engineer our environment to favor English learning. This is where the natural way meets tactical preparation.
Think about preparing your learning environment. If your goal is to practice writing, don't wait until you're tired at 10 p.m. to open a blank computer screen. Instead, the night before, open your journal, set out a nice pen, and write the date and a prompt in English. When you sit down the next day, the friction of starting is gone.
Or if your discipline anchor is listening to an English news podcast on your commute, pre-download those episodes. If you rely on your phone data or a dodgy connection, you'll likely give up and switch to music. Pre-downloading removes the technical friction.
This applies to your vocabulary too. If you're learning new words, don't keep them buried in a notebook. Put them on flashcards and keep those flashcards next to your coffee maker or your TV remote. We must put the learning materials where the life happens.
This is the concept of stacking habits. We mentioned this briefly, but it's worth reiterating. After I turn off the alarm, I will listen to 5 minutes of English news. After I finish dinner, I will review 10 new English phrases.
Stacking leverages existing discipline. You've already conquered the inertia of starting the first habit. You simply bolt the English practice onto the end. The friction is minimized because the environment and the routine are already active.
The opposite is also true, Anna. If you find yourself wasting time watching TV in your native language, the disciplined move is to increase the friction. Move the remote control, unplug the cable, or better yet, change the TV settings to English and force yourself to engage.
Fantastic! Pillar 2 is all about conscious environmental engineering. Make your English practice the easiest thing you do all day. In Part 3, we're going to tackle the biggest mental challenge, dealing with failure and self-criticism.
Part 3. Embracing Failure and the 1% Rule.
Welcome back to the heart of our discussion on Discipline Unlocked. I'm Anna, and Tom and I are here to give you the mindset of a successful English learner.
Tom, in our previous parts, we focused on consistency and systems. But let's be real, the discipline journey is not a straight line. It's full of setbacks. The third pillar of mastery is embracing failure and the 1% rule.
Failure is inevitable. You will miss a day of practice. You will struggle to pronounce a word. You will use the wrong tense in a critical conversation. But the disciplined learner doesn't see these as signs of inadequacy. They see them as high-value feedback.
A beginner learner might quit after a big mistake, thinking, I'm not built for this. A disciplined learner says, that mistake tells me exactly where I need to focus my next 15 minutes of effort. It's an analytical, non-emotional response.
We teach the never miss twice rule. You are human. You will have an off day. You might miss Thursday's practice. That is fine. But the truly disciplined person ensures they get back on track immediately on Friday. The damage isn't done by the single skip. The damage is done by the second skip that turns the skip into a collapse.
And this ties directly back to the 1% rule. We talked about improving by 1% every day. But let's look at the negative side. If you get 1% worse every day for a year, you approach zero. The single missed day is the 1% decline, but the discipline of recovery immediately puts you back on the growth curve.
That resilience is true language power. When you're speaking English and you stumble, the disciplined response isn't to apologize or shrink away. It's to pause, correct yourself, and then continue with confidence. You're actively learning in that moment, turning the failure into a win.
Think of any Olympic champion, Anna. They spend 99% of their time failing in practice, running slower, lifting less, making errors, and they treat every single failure as a data point necessary for ultimate success. We must adopt that athletic mindset for language learning.
So, listeners, banish the brutal self-criticism. If you make a mistake, say thank you to your brain for highlighting a weak spot and immediately put the corrective action into your next study session. That is the true mark of discipline.
And that leads us perfectly into part 4, where we will discuss focusing your energy through deep, intense practice.
Part 4. Deep Work and Focused Intensity. Welcome back to Discipline Unlocked. We are Anna and Tom, and we are moving into the fourth pillar of English mastery, deep work and focused intensity.
In a world of notifications, pings, and constant distractions, true discipline means carving out time for deep work, a term popularized by Cal Newport. This is distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive capabilities to their limit. For language learning, this is where the rapid advancement happens.
A disciplined learner understands that 30 minutes of deep, focused practice is worth 3 hours of distracted, intermittent studying. It's quality over quantity. How do we achieve this?
The Pomodoro technique is your weapon. Set a timer for 25 minutes. During that time, the only thing that exists in your universe is your English task, be it practicing the present perfect, memorizing 30 flashcards, or writing a short journal entry. No phone, no social media, no checking email. Absolute focus.
This technique trains your discipline muscle. It forces your brain to engage completely. When you're doing vocabulary, you're not just passively reading, you are actively recalling, creating personalized sentences, and using the words in context. This level of intensity for 25 minutes creates far stronger neural pathways.
Conversely, consider the shallow work, scrolling through translations, listening to a podcast while simultaneously folding laundry. That's fine for low-level maintenance, but it will never build the advanced structures you need for fluency. Discipline means prioritizing the tough, intense work.
Tom, let's talk about immersion. This is deep work on a larger scale. For 1 hour, you declare a complete immersion zone. Everything you touch, see, and hear must be in English. Change your settings, listen to a challenging English debate, and read a difficult article. You are pushing your comprehension threshold.
Pushing your threshold is vital. That's how growth happens. If you only practice what you already know, you're not disciplined, you're comfortable. Discipline is the discomfort of stretching your limits. That intense focus is what allows the transfer of grammar rules from your conscious memory to your automatic, subconscious fluency.
So, your fourth pillar is focus and intensify. Schedule your deep work, eliminate all distraction, and use tools like the Pomodoro to maximize your absorption rate. And now for our final, most motivational pillar, the identity shift.
Part 5. The Identity Shift and Inevitable Success. Welcome back for the final, most transformative pillar of Discipline Unlocked. We've covered habits, friction, failure, and focus. Now we discuss the ultimate prize, the identity shift and inevitable success.
This is the game changer. Discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Stop telling yourself, I'm trying to learn English. Start telling yourself, I am an English speaker.
That is the power of identity. A person who wants to be an English speaker might miss a practice session. A person who is an English speaker would never miss it because that's fundamentally who they are. They prioritize it, they protect it. It is non-negotiable.
We want our listeners to internalize this. Your discipline confirms your identity. Every 15-minute practice session, every challenging conversation, every corrected mistake, these are all votes for the person you want to become. An eloquent, confident, successful communicator in English.
This identity shift makes success inevitable. Once learning is part of your self-image, the effort is no longer a chore. It's a natural expression of who you are. The disciplined acts stop requiring willpower because they are simply what you do.
So this week, listeners, we challenge you to change your language. When someone asks about your English, don't say, "I'm studying it." Say, "I am fluent, and I am continually expanding my mastery." Own that future.
The facts are simple. Success in English is not about magic. It's about the relentless, boring daily commitment to improvement. It is the simple, natural consequence of discipline.
To recap our 5 pillars of language mastery: swap motivation for habit, build non-negotiable systems, discipline anchor, minimize friction, engineer your environment for easy practice, habit stacking, embrace failure, treat mistakes as data, never miss twice rule, deep work and focused intensity, use Pomodoro for quality practice, the identity shift, become an English speaker now.
Implement these pillars, and success is not a hope, it's a mathematical certainty. You are already an English speaker. Now, go and prove it with your discipline.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible motivational journey. If you were energized by this episode, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the Academy of English Excellence.
We want to hear how you are implementing these pillars. Comment below with your discipline anchor. Until next time, keep building those habits and keep conquering your language goals.
This is Anna
And Tom,
signing off.
Go be brilliant.